Imagine if every decision, every sacrifice you make, isn't just a burden but a building block of something greater, something that holds up the very foundation of civilization. What if I told you that embracing sacrifice could unlock a deeper sense of purpose, resilience, and fulfillment? This week, I'm challenging myself to live by Stoic principles, embracing sacrifice in its truest form. Stay with me as we explore how these sacrifices not only shape our lives but strengthen the world around us. Sacrifice is a term loaded with emotion and often misunderstood. In our modern society, sacrifice is typically seen as a negative, something that strips us of joy, comfort, or opportunity. But in Stoic philosophy, sacrifice is not about deprivation, it's about strength, growth, and resilience. The Stoics believed that true sacrifice is the conscious choice to let go of what's holding us back in order to pursue a higher purpose. In this video, I'll dive deep into what sacrifice truly means within the framework of Stoicism. I'll challenge myself and you to rethink the role of sacrifice in our lives. By the end, you might just see that sacrifice isn't something to avoid, but something to embrace as a path to greater fulfillment. Let's talk about the common misconceptions surrounding sacrifice. Many believe that sacrifice inevitably leads to loss, suffering, or even failure. We're conditioned to think that giving something up means losing a part of ourselves, our comfort, our happiness, our identity. But Stoicism teaches us that true sacrifice isn't about suffering. It's about choosing what to let go of to make room for something better. For example, we often see sacrifice as a grand, dramatic act like quitting a job to pursue a passion or making a life-altering decision that seems almost heroic. But Stoic philosophy reminds us that sacrifice doesn't always have to be grandiose. Sometimes the most impactful sacrifices are the small, everyday choices like giving up a bad habit or spending less time on distractions to focus on what truly matters. This week, I'll be putting this into practice. I'm setting aside some comforts, habits, and distractions that have been holding me back, all in an effort to live more in line with Stoic ideals. The challenge is not just in making these sacrifices, but in understanding the value they bring. To truly understand sacrifice, we need to look at its role throughout history and in our personal lives. Consider the sacrifices made by those who came before us: soldiers in wartime, civil rights activists, or even the everyday sacrifices made by parents for their children. These are examples where sacrifice wasn't about loss, but about contributing to something larger, something that would benefit not just the individual, but society as a whole. But it's not just about the grand gestures. Let's talk about the small, everyday sacrifices that we all make. Maybe it's the extra hour you spend working on a project you're passionate about, even when you're tired. Or the choice to say no to a social event so you can focus on personal growth. These are the kinds of sacrifices that seem insignificant on their own, but they add up over time, leading to significant personal development and a greater sense of purpose. I've been reflecting on my own life, recognizing that sacrifice has played a role in my growth, even when I didn't realize it. This week, I'm diving into these everyday sacrifices, intentionally making choices that align more with Stoic principles. It's a test to see how these small acts of sacrifice can transform my mindset and approach to life. There's a powerful story from ancient history that perfectly encapsulates the essence of sacrifice in Stoic philosophy. Take the story of Cato the Younger, a Roman statesman known for his unwavering commitment to Stoic ideals. Faced with the collapse of the Roman Republic and the rise of tyranny, Cato chose to make the ultimate sacrifice: his life instead of living under a regime that opposed his values. Cato's story is extreme, but it illustrates the Stoic belief that sacrifice isn't about the act itself, but about the principle behind it. It's about standing firm in your values, even when the cost is high. This story challenges us to think about what we're willing to sacrifice for our own principles and how those sacrifices can lead to a life of deeper purpose. As I work through my own challenge this week, I'm keeping Cato's story in mind. While I'm not facing life or death decisions, the principle remains the same: the willingness to sacrifice comfort and convenience for something greater. So, what have we learned about sacrifice? It's clear that the common perceptions of sacrifice as loss or suffering miss the bigger picture. From a Stoic perspective, sacrifice is about letting go of what's holding us back so we can grow into something stronger, more resilient, and more aligned with our true purpose. The small sacrifices we make every day, whether it's giving up a bad habit, prioritizing our time, or choosing to act with integrity, can have a profound impact on our lives. These choices build the foundation not just for our personal growth, but for the strength and progress of society as a whole. As I continue my journey this week, living by Stoic principles and embracing the concept of sacrifice, I'm discovering that what we give up is far outweighed by what we gain in return: clarity, purpose, and a deeper connection to the world around us. I want to hear from you. What sacrifices have you made in your life, and how have they shaped who you are today? Share your experiences in the comments below. And if you're ready to dive deeper into Stoic philosophy, check out my next video on the power of negative visualization, a key Stoic practice that can change the way you approach life's challenges. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on my journey.